Welcome back to the Voice of CX Africa, where Africa speaks and the world listens. Today's conversation is about something many organizations don't consider. They think that they're providing exceptional customer experience, yet customers leave frustrated, having received inconsistencies, and sometimes even having gone the extra mile on behalf of the company. And today we just want to answer one simple question. Why is customer experience treated as an afterthought and not a strategic business decision? I'm excited for our guest today. We have Njeri Kinuthia. Njeri Kinuthia, a seasoned customer experience professional. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Great. So, Njeri, we want to start with just getting to know you a little bit. Can you tell us who Njeri is?
All right. Thank you, Laura. I'm so excited to be here to talk about something I'm super passionate about, which is customer experience. And for anyone seeing my face for the first time, my name is Njeri Kinuthia. I call myself the customer's advocate, and I am proudly the founder of Customer Experience Africa, where we work with brands who genuinely care about their customers and want to look at the gaps in their customer experience journey and to improve it, because you cannot be loyal. Your customers cannot be loyal if you're not giving them the best experience. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself. Now, I remember a few weeks when we started our conversation, you told me a story about going to 5 pharmacies just to get one eye drop. Can you walk us through that journey with us, please?
Thank you for bringing that up. And it's so interesting how the things we go through life are teachable moments. And I was happy to use that to share with my audience. And so sometime 2 weeks ago, I was looking for some eye drops because my where I get it from, so my hospital didn't have it. And so I was like, oh, such a bummer. So I was like, okay, first top of mind pharmacy, I go there, I walk in and I have the prescription. And because I'm using insurance, that means I can only I can only show the prescription. And so I show them, looks into the system. He's like, it's out of stock. And that was it. So I was like, oh, because they have many branches in Kenya. And so I was hoping they would ask to check for me in other branches so that they can tell me where I can go get it from. Or even they could ask me, it can be brought to this branch and then you can pick it from here, because that was the nearest branch. But no, the search continued. And unfortunately, it kept getting worse. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was almost turning the world upside down just because of one bottle of eye drops. I go to the second pharmacy, also very well known. I think there's just something about these well known brands. We'll talk about it, but there's just something where you will expect that brands which are well connected have the best experience, but I was shocked. So there's a lady in front of me, and it's only one person who is serving. And she takes a bit of time. She was asking, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait for my turn. Mind you, we're standing. So I'm just standing behind.
Okay.
And after, it was like 10 minutes of me waiting. So I get to the counter. And then already, first of all, this lady is not looking enthusiastic at all. She looked like the day has already beaten her up. It was around midday, I think. And so
Yes.
if they have certain medicine, she doesn't say yes or no. She taps into her machine, waits. So I'm just there. No, it's just quiet. Nothing is happening. After a few minutes, I ask, oh, what's happening? Do you have it? Or she says, so she was so frustrated. I don't know. She didn't have everything. Could see it in her eyes.
Yes.
She was just like,
Yeah.
the system is loading. I was like, oh, okay. She didn't say anything else. So I was like, okay, I continue waiting. Then after a few minutes, there was already 2 other people behind me. She looks over to the customer behind me to ask them how they can help. So I was like, she told me, it's not loading. It's like she has already dismissed me. It's like, madam, please, we don't have these. It's like she was telling me, it's loading, man. I need to serve the person next to you. And guess what, Laura? I walked away.
Good.
She did not even try to tell me, give me your number maybe, or I'm going to call you
Yeah.
back. Nothing. So I left. And because those are the top two pharmacies I had in mind, I asked my insurance, please share with me other pharmacies in my location where I can get the prescription. And they shared 3 names of pharmacies. Oh, before we
Okay.
continue, I remembered there's
Yes.
another pharmacy I called just to
Yes.
inquire if they pick my prescription from the insurer I have. They told me,
Yes.
unfortunately, no. And I was like, okay. But then I just wanted to know, do you have it by any chance? The branch I called, which was near where I was, told me we don't have it in this branch, but I can order for you. I can inquire from you from other branches, and I can ask for
Okay.
a delivery bike for you just now. Laura, I almost paid cash for that eye drops because I was like, this guy is serving me so well, and it's not even in person, but they have really taken
Yes.
care of me in such a way that I really appreciated, that I did not mind paying cash because I was like, they deserve the money.
Exactly.
And so
Yes.
I told them I'm going to get back to them. Should I not get the prescriptions using insurance, I will get back to them. For sure, I was ready to pay cash. My hunt
Yes.
continues. So insurance gives me
The pharmacy
three,
war.
yes, the insurance gives me 3 names. And of course, there are 3 names. There's a very good pharmacy, well known as well, but they are purely online. But I remember I've ever seen
Okay.
an option to upload a prescription. I had never used the upload a prescription service before. So I upload it,
Yes.
and the stock tells me there's only 1 bottle left. So I'm like, bingo, let me do this thing fast. In true
Yes.
Kenyan spirit, let me say Kenyan because I'm Kenyan. So in true Kenyan
Yes.
spirit, the app fails to do what's supposed to do. It doesn't submit. It just gives me an error, and I don't know. So I don't understand what's happening. So I look for
Yes.
contact us, and for some reason the number they have shared there is not on WhatsApp. So I have to call. And some people like me,
Okay.
we really want to try everything else before we call because it's easier. WhatsApp is now an official, okay, not very official, but it's still a known mode of communication nowadays. The lady I call is very friendly, and then she tells me I need to WhatsApp a different number.
Okay.
The number I've called doesn't have WhatsApp, but she's like, I can read for you a number where you can text the farmers the prescription and they can assist you. So here I am.
Yes.
She's reading out the number for me, 07, blah, blah, blah. I type in, and then it takes an hour to get feedback. At this point, I've already moved on with my day. I've even forgotten there's someone that's
Right.
supposed to get to me. I've already gone through my day. At around 5 p.m., I'm like, oh, by the way, I was supposed to get a feedback. I go. Whenever they responded to after their 1 hour lapse, they told me I need to send my prescription document. I send, and then they tell me, oops, it's not in stock.
They don't have.
I was so frustrated. I told them, guess what? When I was texting you, there was 1 bottle that your system showed that was in stock. So had you responded to me at the time, I would have had my chances of getting the bottle. And mind you, you're
Yes.
already here because your app did not do what it was supposed to do. So you guys have already failed
Mm-hmm.
me twice. Then they
Mm-hmm.
say it was not physically available. I'm caught back. What do you mean? So
Yes.
does that mean your system was showing something that was not actually available? Of course, I'm not surprised. I asked them, when is the bottle supposed to be restocked? They told me, check back with us in 48 hours. I'm like, guys,
Okay.
you've already done all these things and you're still not even trying. You're shifting the responsibility from you guys to me. So it's up to
To
me
you,
to
yeah.
remember 48 hours have lapsed, and then I have to come and ask again. Mind you, these are people with a very good app, in my opinion. But okay, it's not very
Yes.
good because it's failed when I needed it.
Yes.
But anyway, that's their mode of operation. And so, you
Yes.
know what? I'm not going to do this, please. That's the
Yes.
third brand that is huge in Kenya failing me. I was not surprised at all. Well, you'll expect that the known brands are the ones which are treating the customers the best. Surprisingly not.
Yes. Not. Yeah.
Surprise. I called the second pharmacy on the list. Their phone is off. I'm like, what do you mean? By the time insurance
Yes.
is sharing your pharmacy name, that means they know you or they expect you're supposed to be in operation. And so because their phone is off, I can't even know if they have the item in stock or not. I try checking if the number is on WhatsApp because maybe there are some network issues. They don't have it on WhatsApp. And so my search continues. Now we are at this point, actually, it's pharmacy. Okay, to frustrate me, it's pharmacy number 5. But yeah, so
Yes.
and it was the last one. I had never heard of that brand before, but I was like, because insurance have it, I'm sure it's good.
Be good.
I
Yeah.
text them on WhatsApp. Fortunately, they have a number. Their number is on WhatsApp. And then, of course, they take long. Oh, they didn't take long to respond, fortunately for them. But guess what? I asked them, hello, do you have this product in stock? I received a screenshot of what seemed to be a computer, and it looked like I don't know, the software. So for like 3 seconds, I was
Uh-huh.
staring at this screen, wondering, is this there? What am I looking at? Because
Yes.
later on, I saw there down it's written
Yes.
the drops I was looking for and the amount. And first of all, it's like, what did it cost you to just even say a basic hello? Hello. It's yes, in
Yeah.
stock, it's this much. And so later asked them how I can go about the prescription. Actually right away, but then missing. I continued my day and then
Of
I
course.
realized hours later so I decided to call. When I call, the guy who picks up, I'm like, hi, I had texted on your WhatsApp. I needed this and this. And because I'm very good with sharing feedback, by the way, trust me, if I interact with your business, I'm going to share with you the feedback. Whether you take it or leave it now, that's up to you. I've already left the ball in your court because I
Yes.
always imagine that whoever I'm dealing with wants the best for the business, whether or not they're the owner or not. You being employed there, you should be very invested with what people are telling you without being snobbish and dismissive. And so I
Yes.
asked, are you the same person I was talking to on WhatsApp? They're like, no. And then I tell them what happened. The guy was so apologetic. He told me, I'm so sorry. I'm going to make it up to you.
Yeah.
Please send me the prescription. I'm going to sort it out. I sent the prescription and I called him and asked him, have you received? He told me, yes, I've received. This is actually perfect. And he has received the order. He asks me to send my location. I send. And later that afternoon, within like an hour and a half, I had my prescription. Remember,
Wow.
this is the brand I did not know existed. I had never heard that name before. And I was like, this person has made the sale because all the other options, which were my top of choice, have frustrated me. And it is
Yes.
just interesting or what all those pharmacy and that experience just was just eye-opening and so relatable, even though it was unfortunate, but all the learnings I took it from it was just mesmerizing.
Wow. I mean, from your story, I took away quite a few lessons from it because there was the issue about system. Even if there's an issue with the system, you need to communicate because in customer experience, it's also about communication. Whenever there's a problem, you don't just keep quiet and just stare at each other and make the other person stay there with anxiety, like the way you are standing there wondering, what is she doing? Why is
Yeah.
she not saying anything? She should have told you the system has a problem right now. Maybe let me go check on our physical stock or whatever else she could have done, at least let you know the next steps. So what I heard is that from this whole experience, no one was really willing to go outside their comfort zone. Nobody was willing to go the extra mile until this last pharmacy,
Yes.
right?
Nobody.
So what does this tell us then about businesses? What does this tell us about business prioritizing customer experience? Do they really understand what customer experience is?
I would want to say, unfortunately, no. And this is why most of these brands, they already have, of course, there's a senior leadership who sits in board meetings and think we have the numbers coming in. We must be doing the right thing. However, there's that person like me who walked into that branch. Whoever I found there was just someone who is employed to sell the drug.
Mm,
And
yes.
that kind of feedback might never reach the decision makers to know this is the kind of training we need to do at the branch level.
Mm,
And so I would ask the decision makers to even randomly or ask your friend to walk into these businesses where you are not there actively involved, and especially with brands which have a huge network all over the country or have many branches. Just send someone, and that is why something like mystery shopping is very important. A service where you can come to like Customer Experience Africa and you are like, please go to my business. I go, I find Laura there. I won't say who I am, what I'm doing. I'll just go try buy, and then I can analyze what are the different gaps I've noticed just by being there. And also, I feel like the people who are at the bar, I don't want to say, let me say the people who do the work, the people who have been
Yes.
employed to do the work, they may not carry that, let me call it the burden of how am I going to make this customer happy? For them, they're here to tell you, you need this medicine, we have it, we don't have it, full stop. And maybe they don't know
Mm.
that they could have gone an extra mile for me. So training is really important as to what the various things we need to do to improve the customer experience. Another thing is that
Mm.
even if you tell me that medicine is not there, that person, if you ask them, will say, but I answered them. Yes, you did. But again, what I even wish that the first pharmacy would have told me, leave your prescription with me and your phone number once it's back in stock. And then, of course, giving me a timeline. Then you can come back. And so training about the importance of customer experience is so important in this day and age. We can no longer treat it like it's just, we are selling, we have someone to answer our phone calls, we have someone to answer our email. Yeah, it has to change.
And the sad reality is what you experience is probably happening to a lot of people in different contexts of their customer experience. And you talked about the customer journey mapping. Can you maybe share with our audience first two things? What is customer journey mapping? And the second is, what's the difference between experience and customer support? Because people may be confusing this term, customer support versus customer experience. And the way I heard your story is that you felt frustrated, even maybe unintentionally. This stuff made you feel like you are less than, that you didn't matter, that you're bothering, in fact, their whole system. That when you walked away from that pharmacy and the woman didn't even call you back, like, say, hey, madam, I'll tell you something. They didn't even do that. They were like, oh, thank God she left.
Yeah.
So can you just help us educate our audience what customer journey mapping looks like? And especially in terms of the way you talked about the mystery shopping, because that's a very important aspect, because you may be running the business, but there's somebody else experiencing your business.
Yes.
And then what's the difference between customer support and customer experience?
That's a very good question. Those are very good questions, Laura. Let me start with the elephant in the room, in this case, which is the difference between customer support and customer experience. For a long time, historically, customer support has been associated with you're answering the phone calls. You have someone who is the first touch point when your clients want to reach out to your business. So you have someone checking out your texts, your WhatsApp, your emails. That is first customer support. That is the first touch point. So customer support or customer service is the first touch point where your clients are having contact with your business. On the other hand, customer experience is the whole journey. I like to look at customer experience like an engine in a vehicle. If that engine does not start or do what it's supposed to do, that vehicle cannot move. So customer service could be you have a full tank, your car is clean. That's fine. The door are opening and locking well. That's okay. Happy for you. But then this engine cannot start. That means all the other factors are okay, but the main thing is not moving. And that is why I like calling customer. It's not, I like calling it the custom. It's a journey. So
Yes.
customer support is the first part of this journey. It's like getting into a bus. You have gotten to the bus, you have sat down. That is customer support. Then you're going to look at this bus. Did it get me to where I wanted to go? Yes or no? If it got you there, perfect. Did it get you delayed? You could get there, yes, but you got delayed. That is also customer experience, because if you have someone answering the phone calls, bingo, bingo, they answered they took your complaint, very good. But again, that complaint, did anyone go and analyze it? Is anyone asking you for the feedback? Are they checking how efficient or the professionalism in the delivery rider, for example, if you are in e-commerce? How is your app? Because your app could be slow and you don't know. And maybe you find an order has come in, but this customer has been on the website for 3 hours or so trying to place an order, and then they
Yeah.
abandon their cart. Nobody is trying to see what happened. And so
Yes.
customer experience is all those journeys. How was the rider like? Did the order get there well? How did they talk to
Mm,
this customer? Did the order arrive on time? Was the customer happy? So
yes.
that is the main difference. Customer service or customer support are the people who are doing a very good job with interacting with your customers so that whenever a customer has an issue, they are able to be responded to fast. But customer experience
Mm,
is the whole journey. And now when we come to customer journey mapping, is looking at,
mm-hmm,
we are going to Tanzania today. We are going to use
mm-hmm,
bus X. Bus X is supposed to pick us up at 6 a.m. So
mm-hmm,
did it pick us up at 6 a.m.? Yes or no? If it
mm,
did, was the bus clean, for example?
mm,
So customer journey is looking at literally, it's a journey from the customer, the first time they clicked on our website, to the time where we have bought, we have delivered, to the after sales service. How was it like? And this is why I ask business owners to zoom out. And when you're zooming out, you are looking at yourself like the customer. That is why mystery
yes.
shopping comes in place, because now you're telling Jerry would like you to come and check, be a mystery shopper at my business. Jerry is going to come there like like a client. They don't know you, they don't know the staff. They'll come try buying your product. How was the staff like? Then I can pick up and see, for example, that staff member there looked so exhausted. They're really waiting for to clock out. And why is that?
Yeah.
And you could be doing the sales, but I remember how I saw that staff member at the shop, how they felt like. And so customer journey mapping is looking at the different pain points of this customer, looking at the gaps, looking at the solutions of how, when this customer comes to buy from us, what can we do to improve the experience? And it's often said that a customer remembers the emotion, how they felt when they came to your business. If I came to you and you
Yeah.
made me feel like I was burdensome, I will remember that. And it doesn't matter how good
Yes.
of a product you have. Often when I go and engage with people, that I really like service people, by the way, because I see myself in them. Whenever I talk to a
Yes.
person and I'm maybe enthusiastic and I notice they don't have the same energy, I always try to ask, for example, supermarket attendants. I like asking them, how has your day been? And how long has your shift been? They tell me this, I came at this time, and then I'm like, of course,
Yes.
by that I'm just picking up nitty-gritties.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if someone is working 12 hours, you cannot expect them at 6 p.m. You still want them to say hi to you. They're already exhausted.
Yes.
And so mystery shopping is also looking at such things and drawing out the map for you. Like this customer, where did the customer drop off, for example? Where did they feel they cannot come back to your business? How did they feel when they reacted with your business? Were they sad? Did they feel,
Mm,
whatever they felt, frustrated? They will always remember that. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Because it keeps reflecting back to me. And I'm like, I wanted to say it earlier,
Or
but you are giving
again, back.
such nuggets. And I'm like, yeah. So now I don't really, okay, I see it at above your rim.
Okay, just hold on. This content creation. Oh my gosh. Is
Yeah.
that better?
Because I'm afraid like the final cut will be seeing the blue lights around the camera.
Mm.
That's what we're going to
Okay,
see.
okay. Is that better?
Okay. Better. But when you were moving forward towards the camera, I couldn't see the blue light. So it's only when you were moving back.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me try that. How is that now?
But you are very animated. So will you be able to stay there?
Moving, I want to show.
When will you be able to stay there? You need to find a way that you can
Okay,
move.
let me try moving the whatever the ring light behind.
Yeah. Because I can see a blue light on the screen.
Okay, I understand you. Is that better? Or do I look far now? Or it's fine?
You look far, but still I can see the ring light. If you switch it off, what
Let me
happens?
see. Let me. Can you?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Okay, let me then. It's still helping me with the stand. Okay, that's fine. If you can still see me, that's okay.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay.
You did mention about the customer journey mapping. And what I took away, sometimes we forget that we think every customer goes through the same journey map, but people actually go through different journey maps in the same store.
Yes.
So, for example, when you walked in, maybe you're a young lady who walked into the store, and then maybe a mother with a child walks into the same pharmacy, they will probably have a different experience than you did. So, probably that pharmacist saw the person behind you was maybe a mom and a child, and they were like, yeah, you don't matter. Now, next. So next. So yeah, we have to consider that, people's journey maps look differently. And that's why we do those things called profiling.
Yes.
That Njeri's journey is going to look like a mother and a child differently. It's going to look different from a grandfather. It's going to look different from a person in a rush. Everybody goes through different emotions when they go through these journey maps.
Yeah.
So now I want to go now. Why do you think a lot of organizations treat customer experience as a by the way, when we know it's all about the feeling, like the way you said it? It's how you make me feel. Your product could be fantastic, but if I feel like they don't care about me, they don't value me, then I'm not coming back. I might buy it today because I don't have a choice. Like the way with the pharmacy, you were literally about to buy because you didn't have any other choice. You wanted to pay cash.
Yes.
But then why do organizations treat it as a by the way?
A very good question, Laura, because I've also been wondering the same. And then I looked back and I saw historically customer service was the only customer function that most companies had. And most of these executives, from when they were starting their businesses back in the days, they just needed to know, just have a receptionist. The receptionist will answer the phone calls, they will answer the emails, they'll be the admin. And so it just looked like we have someone for that. And that looked like it was enough. However, as of today, things are changing. Customer experience is now a cross-functional, let me call it, it's a function, like it's cross, you need to do it in a team. They are intertwined. And then, in my opinion, I find customer service is seen like a cost, a department that is taking up cost. We are employing people, and so the salaries you're paying them, it's seen as an expense. And so
Yes.
it's like, we don't even want to have so many people. You hear businesses saying, we just need 2 people to answer the phone calls and emails, and that's
Yes.
enough. And they think that's enough, but it's not enough, because customer experience as of now, it needs to be a strategy that when your decision makers, you're sitting down, you're looking at, do we have someone to look at our data, for example? Are we even asking for the feedback, for example? And so, and because of, also remember, customer service is not a revenue generating department. And because it's just a department, so it's not bringing in revenue. And so when you're counting the departments or the functions in your company, you're like, we have a very great marketing team. Bingo, ticked. They're going to bring us the sales, happy. We have a very nice finance team. They're going to put our inventory in order. Our finances are in check. All these are coming, like operations is also very important. We have people who are going to make sure our goods are packed nicely, blah blah blah. And then customer service just comes at the bottom of the tier. Like, we have it's there. As long as we have someone answering the phone calls, what else do we want? But it needs to be seen as a strategy. Don't look down upon it. And that is why you find most people in a company, for example, the other functions, they see whatever they are doing as most important, in my opinion. And so you are just the person who answers phone calls. I mean, what are you telling us? And so it needs to stop being by the way, and it's also a very important function in the company. Yes.
Yeah, and you are right. It is a very important factor because, again, if you're consistently making people feel seen, feel valued, then what you're building is brand loyalty. That I'll be coming to that specific pharmacy just because of the way that pharmacist receives me from the moment they greet me. Because you talked about greeting.
Yeah.
So some places you walk in and people are frowning and you are like even afraid to ask for the service.
Yeah.
But some places you walk in and the person is like, wow, welcome. Like, I'm glad to see you here. How can I serve you today?
Yeah.
just from that first interaction. Then you come and tell me if there's a problem, you communicate it with me. At the moment, we don't have it in stock, but listen, this is what I can do. Leave me your prescription. I'm going to check in stock. I'll get back to you at this particular time, and then we'll get you. That feeling that, wow, this person went above and beyond to just take care of this prescription for me, even if it's just one droplet, you know, because some people will say like, it was just one droplet. No, even if it's just one droplet, how you treat me then translates to me saying, I will go back there. I will tell my family, friends, and relatives to go to that specific pharmacy because they care.
Yeah.
And that's what customer experience is, right?
Yes.
The feelings.
The feeling.
So if I come back to you frequently, then what does that mean? Customer lifetime value, right?
For sure.
You're getting more money from me.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier in your story, I like your story because I was speaking a lot of lessons that you are willing to pay more out of insurance just because of the extra mile they did.
For sure.
So that means we are generating revenue because I'll pay more.
Yeah.
I will tell other people to come. And when I'm loyal, it doesn't matter your price. What matters is your consistency in how you make me feel. So that we directly translate it and return on investment on that customer service department, right? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So if you are to go back to this story that you told us and you are told to fix that experience, what would you fix first? What's most important for you?
Okay. So because there are two types of pharmacies here, there's the one that's pure online and there's the one that's physical. For the one that's pure online, I need to look at the resolution time. It needs to be the response time, actually. It needs to be super fast. This is someone who you're not seeing, and so they're dependent on how fast you are to get the response. And let me tell you, is enough for you to, when you delay, that person who is inquiring about a service or a product, they needed it right there and then. So taking an hour, for example, an hour is too long of a response time to tell me if you have a product or not. And even if you have it, follow it up. Even if you've told me yes, you do, follow it up to resolve the inquiry on time. That is the first thing I'll resolve. The second thing for the physical pharmacies, for example, if I was the one who was making the changes, I would offer solutions, not alternatives, because I know pharmacy people really like telling us we don't have A, but B. B works very well.
Good.
No, like tell me.
From England.
Yeah.
This one is from England. This one was from China.
Yeah, even this one is good. And actually, nowadays, when you're getting a prescription, the doctors are very keen to tell you, please do not let them substitute. And they even put a stamp, do not substitute. And so what I would have done, because these pharmacies have branches, they ask, even a simple call would have been, hello, I have a customer who's looking for this and this product. Do you have it? Yes or no? Because if you have many branches, they should act interconnected. It's one big system.
Yes.
Branch-wise does not
Yes.
matter. If I go and see
Yes.
Laura Business at, for example, in Kisumu, Laura Business in Westlands, Laura Business in Kigali, should all work the same. It should not be
Yeah, exactly.
all these are in separate islands, and we don't need to know that it's different. It's how, for example, you walk into well-known restaurants that has a lot of chains, and then the burger you taste here is totally different from the burger you taste a different place. So that pharmacy should have the system all in one, that they can be able to see the stock of different. Even if you need to separate it, because I understand you need to know how many bottles, for example, this branch sold and this branch. At least I can see visibility. I can see they have it or not. Then I will have made the decision whether I want to go to that branch or they can bring it to where I am. Basically, going an extra mile. Do not shift the responsibility of your responsibility to the customer. You're now telling the customer, call us back after 48 hours. We are going to tell you. Why don't you say, give me your number? After 48 hours, I'm going to tell you if we have it or not. And maybe I'm not also willing to wait for 48 hours. Then you can tell me this. At least I'll see you have tried to offer me a solution. So those are the major things I'll do. And then for the one where the system was loading, that is even a bigger problem, because now we need to understand, why is this system loading like this? And was it? I don't know if it's at the location where the pharmacy is based, where the network was, the Wi-Fi maybe was not good. We can't tell, but then it needs to be super super fast, especially with walk-in clients. You cannot afford to have lagging system, because now that's a lost sale. I never even
Yeah,
got
and
to know.
people are very patient
Yeah,
these days.
we have things to do, man. And then I didn't even get
That's
to know
true.
if they have the product, mind you. I will never go back there anyway, because if you are not even able to eat, yeah. And the one where the system was loading, they will even have extra mile. They would have told me, please leave your number, and then I'm going to check for you, and I tell you the price, blah blah blah. But then I'd already left anyway, so maybe unless they were offering the delivery as well. But yeah, going the extra mile, encouraging people to go the extra mile for clients, because the customer feels how much you have gone, the extra mile you've gone to help
Yes,
them. We remember. And I want to
yes,
tell businesses, like, encourage your team members or the people who work for you, that they should not always go by the book. Not that they do illegal things, but for
yes,
example, let's say they say we only deliver, for example, within a 15-kilometer radius. But then this customer tells you, I understand, but maybe because of whatever reasons, I'm not able to come to whatever radius. Is there any way we can make it work? Like,
yeah,
you can always go beyond what you have been told. And I
yeah,
understand when training is happening for these people in customer experience or people who are serving clients, it's like they read a manual in their minds. This is
yes,
how I was trained. So if a customer
yes,
asks for example, matoke, and it's not on our menu, you just say we don't have it. You can't say, for
finished. Yeah,
example, for Ugandan friends, that we have katogo, for example, or they think there's something they call like that. So you don't go by the manual all the time. Just do something extra, because the customer will not even know we didn't even have that product or something. Like there are restaurants, if you go at, for example, at 1 p.m., you cannot look at the breakfast menu. Maybe I just eat
yes,
eggs for lunch. And then to tell you, no, we don't do that. And then you'll be like, actually, we do, but let me see if the chef can make it. And maybe the chef
can
has
do. Yeah.
a problem. But because you've gone the extra mile, I'll always remember that emotion of how I felt when you went the extra mile for me as a customer.
Wow, wow, that is so powerful what you just shared there. And I want to go back to one sentence that you said, the way you said it, that I will never go back there. So imagine what what that translates to, the revenue that this business was supposed to make from you, from your family, from your friends, from your relative, because I'm sure you have told your friends and relatives about that
For
experience.
sure.
And there's nothing that spreads faster than a bad word of mouth,
Yes, yes. And they say it's much more
right?
expensive to gain back a customer than retaining the one you have. It's costly, very costly.
Exactly. So now going back to these stories again, what common business mistakes are companies making that ruin the customer experience? They might think it's small things, like when the person said the system is not working. Fact is, yes, the system wasn't working, but that ruined the experience.
Yeah.
So what other common mistakes are there that business makes that ruin customer experience?
So I'm happy that you use the word small things, because it's the small things that are breaking the customer experience. And you know, it's the small things that erode the trust in the long run. And you see,
Mm,
they can say, but it was just a small system lag. Okay, so that small
mm,
system lag, maybe you've just said it was just one person. Maybe your branch in where another different location also did the same.
yes.
And so this one small thing and another small thing, in the long run, you're
Mm,
wondering, why do I have 10 billboards that I'm paying for 200,000, for example? I don't know how much they're paid for. I
yes.
think it's that strange. I'm paying so much money, and the salespeople are telling me they are churning these customers. They mean they are bringing their customers, but I cannot see the revenue. It is because
Yes.
the marketing people did a fantastic job, but then the people they came to get served, those
Yes.
small things are not they, in the long run they become huge, and you cannot see it unless you have someone who is bringing the fresh set of eyes into the business. And so
Yes.
some of the mistakes
Yes.
I see happening is treating customer experience as a silo department. It is treated like one of its own, you know. And then because it's treated as one of its own, every other person is like, us, we are in marketing, us, we don't do customer experience. Us, we're in operations, us, we don't do customer experience. Try telling someone,
Yes.
for example, from operations, like, if you're going to, if your orders are going to get late or your drivers are going to get late, can you just drop a text to that customer as a driver and say, I'm going to get late. This get late. They'll say, no, us drivers, our work, or us riders, our work is not to communicate with customers. That is your work. However, they don't
Exactly.
know that nowadays customer experience is interwebbed with everyone in the company. And customer experience is not, it's not one, it's not, people are fixing it in customer service so much. And it's not that. Customer service is a different function all by itself. And so
Yes.
once everyone needs to know the role that the work I come to do here every day is impacting the customer in one way or
Yeah.
the other. If you're finance,
Mm.
you're supposed to clear invoices. If you're not clearing the invoices on time, for example, in one way or the other, it's going to affect the customer, because now the supplier will say, I'm not going to deliver more goods to you guys. And now there's out of stock. Customer cannot get what they want. The delivery guy
Exactly.
is late or they are rude to the customer, and they'll say, he'll complain to the customer service. You could still be used as an instrument to get back the feedback and ask,
Yes.
how can I make it better for you when I'm delivering for you next? And what feedback can I get back to my bosses or to my company when I'm going? Because every time,
Yes.
you know, everyone is seeing themselves as different, that is the work of customer service, please.
My work.
It's not
It's
my
not my
work.
department.
Yeah. And I should even call it a myth. Every person
Yeah.
has a role they need to play, and they need to understand how their role affects customer experience. And until we stop treating customer experience like a single function, we're still going to have the same
Yes.
mistakes every day. I think every business owner, if every morning when you're having your meetings, you should ask the people who are working for you, how did you show up for our customer today?
Mm.
Regardless
I
of
like that.
whatever you are doing, even if you clean the kitchen, even if you make tea for the people at the office, you are a driver, whatever you do, how did you show up for a customer today? And did you do it well? Because you can show up, but you did not show up well. And if you did not, what are the learnings for that?
Yeah.
Even before you discuss the targets and whatever you have to discuss for that day, that should be number one. Now, that way, everyone, when they are going through their day, they keep asking themselves that question. Whatever I'm doing, when I'm delaying to approve something, how am I affecting the customer
Yes.
in the long run?
At the end of
Because
the day.
people are so used in organizations where, for example, Laura is in marketing, for example, and then you'll say that is customer service are going to deal with it, even though the challenge or the issue comes from your department. And now customer service has been used to being the cleanup, whatever is happening,
Yes.
clean up. And I tell you, you don't understand how, until you have to deal with customers who are frustrated on a phone call. And then now you're wondering, what did I even do? Like, you're just catching the, the strays. You're just, the last bullet has caught you, and now you're there apologizing. And that could have been avoided should someone have done
Yes.
the right thing and thought about the customer. Another mistake is
Wow.
there's no clear ownership of customer experience, because it has been used
Mm.
in customer service so much. It's like, nobody, like we will say, everyone is supposed to make the customer happy. That's okay. But
Yes.
remember, when something doesn't have clear ownership, when it's everyone's
Yes.
responsibility, it's no one's responsibility. You need to say,
True.
for it today, we now have customer experience who is going to be doing this and this. And please do not um, mix up the roles of these people who are in customer experience, because you'll find sometimes the person in customer experience is also in charge of doing marketing, is also in charge of doing business development, which is that is growth. And so these roles keep clashing with each other. And so
Yes.
when you are mixing up these roles, they're intertwined, yes, but they are different in their own way. So if
Yes.
your organization you want the customer experience person to do marketing, you also need them to do PR, or you also need them to do, like, it needs to be defined what is their role. That way,
Yeah.
you are not, doing everything and nothing at the same time. And then lack of
Mm.
data is also another mistake I've seen businesses doing. Yes, you have someone who is answering your phone calls, you have someone who is delivering or whatever, but at the end of the month, do you know how many missed calls your business got? Do you know how
Very
many
true.
emails went unanswered? Do you know how many
Mm-hmm.
customers abandoned their cart and they're not going to come back? And this is why data is so important in customer experience. And this is why you should have someone who is in customer experience who is checking all these things. If we have customers who stopped buying from us, for example, what happened? Maybe it's a rider
Yes.
who was rude to them and you don't know. And customers sometimes they don't want to say. Or even they will give you the feedback, but you don't know how to look at that or collect it and analyze it effectively. And so if when you go for a meeting you don't know all these small things are called small, then you are
Yeah.
leading blindly, unfortunately. And also remember, you cannot change what you don't
Yeah.
measure because you don't know, because you're leading with assumptions. Like, yes, you have someone who answers the phone calls and what, and maybe they have 10 unread WhatsApp messages and they were unanswered at 1 hour each. They took 1 hour to answer each. Yes, they were answered, but how long did it take? And so it's very important
Yes.
to have data analytics in customer experience for businesses.
Wow, you have shared so much knowledge with all of us. And my question was about the leaders. What insights would you share with them? And I think this is exactly it. This is what the leaders need to know and need to hear about customer experience, because they might be treating this unintentionally like an afterthought. But after hearing that, you talked about data collection.
They stopped treating it as a silo department.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow, these are very good lessons. Now, as we are wrapping up, we're coming to an end. I want you to speak to that leader. Yes, you have shared a lot to the leaders, but I want you now to say something to them about customer experience. How can they make this a priority for their business? And what are the implications? What steps can they take?
Okay. I like saying that, for example, at Customer Experience Africa, we work with brands who genuinely care about their customers. So, to the leaders who genuinely care about their customers, this is what I think you should do. First, have a clear ownership of that customer experience function. Do not mix it up and don't give it as a side task. Let it be a function on its own. That means that is the person who is going to be looking at the gaps. They're going to be looking at the customer journey mapping. They're going to be collecting the feedback, sending the feedback surveys, and once it's collected, they're going to be analyzing it. Like, there's just a lot that needs to be captured in customer experience. So have someone who is owning that. And please do not mix them up with customer service. Even if they're overlooking customer service, I understand it needs to be one of the things they are looking after, but let it not be the only thing they are doing. And also, please do
Yes.
not give them other other roles. Don't mix them up. Don't tell them they also need to go and bring you revenue. Don't tell them, like, it needs to be very specific to customer
Budget
experience.
is tight.
I know budget is tight. Let me tell you, even if it is, even if you need them to collect, for example, they need to bring you sales, let customer experience be them think they do their core business. Let me call it that. Let it be their core
Yes.
business. Because if they're still going to get revenue and maybe you're also paying them with commission, my friend, they'll go where the commissions are. They will you
Yes.
and your customers, please let me bring the money. And that is why it needs to be very so streamline it to have ownership and the responsibility with one person or one uh, person or an individual. Mm, there you got, I don't know what I just said. Map your customer journey. Second thing, map your customer journey. And this is why I said mystery shopping comes in very handy, because now you're zooming out and you want to think about the experience this customer is going through and all the pain points
Yes.
they are going through. You need to draw their journey literally and see they came in, where did they drop off? Did they buy from us? Are they going to come back according to the feedback? Basically, all that. And another thing, that is why Customer Experience Africa exists, for businesses and leaders like you who generally care about your customers. We understand sometimes you don't
Yes.
know where do I even start. And we are here to hold your hand.
Yes.
And we, like, mystery shopping is one of the services we offer. And we'll just come. If someone knows me, okay, maybe they don't, but I'm sure with time they're going to know. But yes, I'm just going to go. If you own a restaurant, I'll just come and just sit down, order, even pay, I don't mind. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Because sometimes you don't know the gaps you have until you get a fresh set of eyes, which are going to notice the gaps you have in your service delivery. Because sometimes you are clapping for yourself and you're happy that you have a business, but there are those gaps. You have a leaking bucket. And every time you're trying to fill the water, you're wondering, why is this bucket not filling? It's those tiny small gaps that you have in your service delivery. And once you improve them, then your customers will be so satisfied and loyal to you.
Wow, Njeri Kinuthia. Thank you so much for sharing such deep knowledge about customer experience. Your passion, your energy is oozing through the screen. Thank you so much for that. Now, before we wrap up our session for today, I want to do a rapid round just to get to know you a little bit better. So I want to know, what frustrates you the most as of today in terms of customer experience? What frustrates you the most?
People who take long to respond, or people in terms of even calls and text. Like, because I don't understand how you got a missed call from me and that you have never called me back, and you're here telling people online how proud you are, you're a business owner. Damn, can you first go and call me back? And by the time you're calling me back, I already got got the product that I needed. Actually speaking, 30 minutes should be the service, the SLA for your business or so, or less even. I'll say businesses that take long to respond to customers, because you don't know what they're trying to tell you if you don't answer fast. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Wow, I like it. Call a spade a spade.
Pick
People pick up the telephone.
up the phone call and answer my WhatsApp.
Let's say that. I like that. The second question, if you could improve one customer experience in the world, which industry would you fix first?
Restaurants.
Restaurants. Tell me more.
Restaurants are an interesting lot because they know you need to eat. And so there's just a laxity in some of these restaurants, honestly speaking, that is just, I can't put, like, it's, someone will bring you cold food, but they don't know, they may or may not know that the food is cold, but they'll be like, the chef brought it that way. Like them, they're just here to bring you the food, and then as long as these restaurants keep saying that they're making money, they don't know that their others are not going to come back. They are going to their competitor.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
Yes.
restaurants, I have a lot to say about restaurants.
We have another
You
episode on restaurants.
we need to do it. And please, if you own a restaurant and want to improve, please reach out to Laura or me, because we need to change the industry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, Njeri. This was fantastic. And now we've come to the end of our session. And I just want to remind each one of you, customer experience does not happen through our intentions. They happen through decisions, systems, and priorities. Do you want to say anything to close the session for today?
I would like to say service is a touch point and experience is the journey. And so once you are able to see the difference, you'll be able to see what you need to do to improve the customer experience. And customers remember how they felt. So even if you sold them something that was very good and you treated them like, and there's this thing businesses like saying, when you complain, they say, but imagine you're the first one to tell us. Yeah, because the customer journey is different. And maybe I'm the only one who has had the audacity to speak up. And so you shouldn't make me feel like I'm telling you a new thing, or what you, yeah. So take every customer's feedback very seriously, because it matters. Everyone matters, honestly. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining us, Njeri. And thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, see you. This is Laura Minde from the Voice of CX Africa. Bye bye. All right.